Yo, what's up, my unknown soul here on location in this nice little park by my job. Wanted to discuss a little thing about your dreams and your goals and your ambitions and some of the roadblocks that we encounter and why they are just roadblocks and not walls and not barriers and not things that can be impossible to penetrate. There are things that you can very well do. So let's get started. These are my four things that really kill our ambition. We all go through it in our lives. Pretty painful experiences, pretty minute experiences, but we all do go through our failures. As babies, we experience failure, but it's not the end result for us because we were not brainwashed, or we weren't conditioned to acknowledge failure as the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world for a kid is not to be able to attain their results. Think about it. Be able to walk. It's just one of the first things you learn to do in life. And I'm going to guess that a lot of us early on in life, although it's not probably recorded any sort, fell a lot. But we never gave up because no one told us to. And no one told us that it's the end. They just kept encouraging us. They kept pushing us to move forward because that is what we are conditioned to do. However, once we become smart enough to make decisions, society, maybe not your parents, maybe not your friends, but other sources will brainwash you and tell you that failure is unacceptable, failure is ugly, failure is the worst thing in the world you can do. But it's not. The worst thing in the world you can do is give up. But the best thing you can do, and will give you a lot of power, is to acknowledge and learn from your failures. Success, it is built on the road of failures, and I forget who told me that quote, but it's somewhere around there. But it's actually very apropos if you think about it, because on my journey to b-boying, I experienced a lot of failures, learning moves, trying to compete, whatever the case may be. I went through that, but you know what? 20 years later, 20 years still, I haven't given up, and I can tell you that I feel the most liberated in my dance because I just accept the failures, I learn from it, and I grow from it. And quite frankly, everybody else should too. So, in the road of life, failure is just a roadblock. It's not a wall. Basic economic terms, we have a finite, which means a limited number of resources, but the human are conditioned to have infinite needs. We are never going to be satisfied as humans, and rightfully so. If we did that, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I'm not talking about all the bad stuff, not all the good stuff. You know, the advent of technology, the advent of extra food sources, the fact that we have skyscrapers and we have beautiful music, because it comes from two sources that are infinite and that economics fails to see. And those two resources are your spirit, heart, your soul, whatever you desire to call it, and your mind, your brain, your computational power. And both of these, fortunately, are not only infinite, they can actually be expanded and grown upon. It's a wonderful thing. Now let's touch upon these two things, because with these two factors, you will be able to attain any resource that you desire. With your spirit, your heart, your soul, whatever you want to call it, this is where a lot of things come from. First, your resiliency and your willpower and your virtue and anything that is related to intangible feelings and intangible sources that allow you to move forward. Without this being built upon and trained and learned to use as a weapon or use as a tool, you're never going to go far in life, because then we'd be giving up way too easily, or we'd allow our mind, which is basically logical in its source, to talk us out of stuff. Because think about it like this. In terms of logic, you're always going to weigh your pros and cons, and that's what your mind does. And unfortunately, if your mind starts saying that the cons outweigh the pros, you're not going to do something, even if you really want to do it. It's plain and simple. Now, this is not to say the mind isn't your tool as well, because quite frankly it is. Your mind plays an important role of allowing you to solve problems, or to seek out answers to the problems that you have, or to figure out the processes necessary to take that next step. And like I said, with that, you can actually grow it. You know, that's what academics are for: books, tutorials, whatever you look, your mind is what allows you to do that. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people build up one without the other, and that is really limiting you as a human being. And thus, you become limited into what you can do. You have to make sure that you train both of them. Now, when they work in conjunction, not only will you have the ambition, the willpower, the resiliency to seek your goals through, you will also have your mind in conjunction saying, okay, we really want to do this with our heart. We really have this idea, this thought, this goal. Now let's figure out how to do it. When you start conditioning your mind and your heart to do that, you are going to be unstoppable, plain and simple, because you're going to keep going, but your answer is going to be found, and you're going to feel so much better, like honestly, because physical resiliency, mental resiliency is so crucial, but you also need to be able to use these resources effectively. If you don't, you're not going to go very far. I know for a fact that we all want people to believe in us. I think we want people to support us and be, happy in what endeavors we do. But honestly, can't always be the case. When we start creating the vision of what we want and our goals and everything like that, some people just will never see it, honestly. And as such, you gotta just embrace the fact that you're gonna probably go a lot of your journey in life on your own. It's just an unfortunate fact of life, but it's not the worst thing in the world, because think about it like this: all great leaders start out alone, but when they start using their actions and their words and everything they do in life to start moving forward in their goals and pursuits, people are going to start believing in you, people are going to start following you, people are going to start supporting you. And that's the beauty of us moving forward, because without action, you might just end up being alone in the long run, because without doing anything, no one's going to believe in you. But when you do something, you believe in yourself, and eventually others will believe in you. Plain and simple. There is no better time to start than to start right now, at this very moment, at the end of this video, plain and simple. You want a good example in nature? Pretty much. How do you think fires start? They don't just start big and massive from the get-go. They need a spark. A small spark, something very minute, can cause a big blaze. A simple crawl, a walk, a run, whatever you do, step forward. Sometimes that step is painful, sometimes that step is light. But as long as you move forward, you're always going to succeed, because the first step is always going to be the most important. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like my video, please feel free to let me know. I'm always going to try to post as much content as possible. Well, this is Hidden Character Soul signing off. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace!